Welcome back. Now, we were just talking about, why don't reviews stick? And so what I want to do now is show you a couple of tricks that can help or facilitate reviews sticking for your business on one of these review sites. So just remember that these reviews will kind of oscillate back and forth, especially on Yelp, between the recommended, not recommended side, depending on the engagement of the user. But there's some other things that you can do to indicate to their sort of search algorithm that this review is important and of value. So depending, obviously, if you have more people in your organization, the better here. But what I'm going to do is kind of show you something. Now, this doesn't work 100% of the time. Obviously, I wish it did. I wish it was some sort of, Konami code, if you will, to make sure that these reviews stick. But it can greatly help any small business in terms of improving the ability for these reviews to stick. So when you go on to any review inside of Google or Facebook or Yelp, there's typically under that review the option to either like or favorite, or say in the case of Yelp, it's useful, funny, or cool. So what I always recommend my clients do is to go in there, or at least have them or a couple of members of their staff, if possible, all go in with their different Yelp accounts, and then go click on these buttons underneath these reviews. Because what that's going to do is that's going to be a social indicator to the search algorithm or the review filtering algorithm that, hey, this review is useful to other users simply because it's getting quote unquote a vote from the users on the platform. So typically what I recommend is, for example, I'm on a Yelp page right here. So underneath the review, after the written part, you'll see three little buttons that say useful, funny, and cool. Typically I always click on the useful and the cool. If it's funny, then I'll click on the funny, but I don't want it to be a little too obvious that they're just getting votes straight across. So coming down and just making sure that you're doing this to every one of your reviews. Now, one of the things that's really beneficial is if you can get in there and you can do this within the first day, simply because the chances are that you'll be able to actually give that quote unquote social vote before the review filter comes around the first time to kind of wipe it off of the review site. So if you and your staff, however large you are, or maybe your family members, can jump on there real quick, hit useful and cool, or like these different reviews, the chances are higher that it is going to be able to actually stick and stay there. So that is just one sort of insightful way to do it for you. Also, just, I would also publicly thank them if you're a business. That's another sort of way to engage each one of these reviews as somebody that's come into the business. So hopefully that helps. That's just a little sort of inside scoop there, but, it also is just a big indicator to your customers that you really care and you're engaged.